Hello, welcome to الكرامة News Service, and we start our top stories with latest and current affairs. Libya. Soldiers Akram al-Maghrabi and Munir al-Farjani, who belong to military police in Bodema, were martyred during fierce clashes with terrorist groups in the military police district Bodema. Commander of the military police, Kamil al-Abedi, said that the terrorist group tried to advance towards the military police and their attempts were ended with fail by military police and Bodema Yatha, who supported them, and thus it resulted in huge losses in lives and materials. Moreover, Al-Abedi stressed that readiness of forces to address militias and target their strongholds in Bodema Yatha in Al-Hawari area. Units of the Arab Libyan Armed Forces achieved great progress in El Ujailat city after they advanced towards the road leading to the downtown. This came after the forces engaged in heavy fighting with remnants of terrorist Fajr Libya, Dawn Libya militia stations in the area in an attempt to compensate for their losses. The terrorist militia in Sebrat bombed Al Afran area of Al Ujailat, killing a child from one family and hitting a house of Karkush family. Moreover, sources reported that the army mobilized its member of Al-Gadida area in anticipating of possible attacks by the terrorist militias. Eyewitnesses said the armed vehicles of terrorist Daesh group toured residential neighborhood number 1 in Sebrat, and its elements removed the independent flags and they raised their banners. According to witnesses, Daesh elements raised their banners over schools and in the entrance to the neighborhood without any reactions from the residents. Extremist Daesh group took control of almost the entire city of Sirtil Nofaliya in the east and Bawabit al-Khamsin in the west after terrorist Fajr Libya. All Libya Dawn militias handed over the city to terrorist group. Tunisian army succeeded today to stop the smuggling of fuel vehicles in Al Hadida area, neighboring Libya, including 2 Tunisian vehicles and 3 Libyan ones. Official spokesman for the Tunisian ministry, Bil Hassan El Wazlati, noted that a force in the military buffer zone of the National Army managed to stop the vehicles after inspection. Al Wazlati added that 2 weapons of type Kalashnikov and 3 warehouses containing 54 cartridges were also seized during the inspection process. The Parliament postponed Monday sessions to later time due to lack of a quorum and Parliament's latest visit to Egypt. The official spokesman for the Parliament, Faraj Bou Hashim, said that had announced areas that the Parliament will hold a crucial meeting at its headquarters in Tobruk City to determine its final position towards the adjustment made to the final force draft submitted by the United Nations mission. The draft aims at ending the current struggles for power Libya by formation of a new national consensus government. Bou Hashim added that the goal of the meeting was to resolve the controversy over whether the Parliament's delegation has the right to participate in the dialogue sponsored by the United Nations in the Moroccan city of Sikhairat for the signing of a preliminary agreement or waiting for the final opinion of the Parliament. Egyptian border guards seized 51 migrants trying to cross the Egyptian border in an attempt to illegally enter Libya west of Siwa city. Matruh Insecurity Chief Al-Anani Hamouda noted that he had received a message of seizing 51 migrants from various Egyptian areas while they were legally leaving their land on their way to Libya. The Egyptian security forces foiled an infiltration attempt by 91 people in the past 2 days, including a Sudanese, during their failed attempt to infiltrate the border and leave the country to Libya. Libyan mobile phone company in Benghazi stressed that the communications are gradually returning to areas in which communications are cut off in cities of Benghazi and Al-Marj due to damage of the main tower of Libyan network in Al-Khurata area. A prominent noted that the company's maintenance team starts its maintenance of the main tower of the network last night. The main tower of the Libya's network targeted by a shell, causing communication interruption in most areas of Benghazi and Al-Marj cities. And now to Yemen. Saudi-led coalition airstrikes targeting the office of the Houthi militia in the Yemeni capital Sana'a today. The attack came a day after nearly 200 people were killed in an airstrike and clashes across the war-torn country. Moreover, clashes and airstrikes have killed at least 176 fighters and civilians across Yemen. It was the highest daily toll since the Saudi-led air offensive began more than 3 months ago. More than 3,000 people have been killed since the Arab coalition launched their offensive on March 26 within the arm of trying to stop the Houthis spreading across the country to the north. The strike came amid offensive efforts by the United Nations envoy Sheikh bin Hamad to broker a humanitarian truce between the government of Palestinian of President Abdrabbu Mansour Hadi and the Houthi militia. Saudi Arabia says that it's bombing the Houthis to protect the Yemeni strike. The UN says more than 80% of the Yemeni people need some form of humanitarian crisis. The United States was only training 60 Syrian opposition fighters to battle terrorist Daesh group as of July 3, before in Daesh Secretary Ash Carter told Congress today. Carter's acknowledgement of the low number of recruits will give ammunition to critics who say Obama's strategy is too limited to have any influence on Syria's brutal civil war. In the meantime, the chairman of the Senate Ahmad Services Committee, Republican Senator Joe McCain, said given the poor numbers of recruited and trained Syrian fighters thus far, I am doubtful we can achieve our goal of training a few thousand this year. The program was designed to train as many as 5,400 fighters a year and seen as a test of President Barack Obama's strategies of engaging local partners to combat extremists. The White House said today that extending talks with Iran on its nuclear program afforded an opportunity to address significant differences between the two sides. As Secretary General Kerry said back on Sunday, we have never been closer to reaching a final agreement than we are now, but they continue to reach significant differences between and still remain, said the White House spokesman Joseph Earnest. Iran and 6 major powers are continuing negotiations in Vienna on a long-term nuclear agreement as they tackle the most continuous issues. The negotiators had initially given themselves entrance week within they mentioned a June 30 deadlines for a final agreement, but a push in recent days was not enough to hammer out the deal. An agreement would be the most important milestone in the talks towards easing hostility between the United States and Iran. The comprehensive deal under discussion is aimed at curbing Tehran's most sensitive nuclear work for a decade or more in exchange for relief from economic sanctions. The latest extension to Friday leaves open the possibility that an agreement will not arrive in time for a Thursday deadline set by the U.S. Congress in order to provide an expedited 30-day review. If a deal is sent to Congress between July 10 and September 7, Congress will have 60 days to review it, taking into account lawmakers' August vacations. Obama administration's officials fear that this could provide more time for any deal to unravel. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras launched a desperate bid to win fresh aid from a spectacle credited an emergency Eurozone summit today before his country's banks ran out of money. But German Chancellor Angela Merkel said on arrival there was still no basis for reopening negotiations with Athens. Merkel today reporters said that after the expiry of the second program and after a more than clear no in the Greek referendum, there is still no basis for negotiation in ESM, European Stability Mechanism program framework. She added that without solidarity there is no possibility to help, and without reforms it's not possible to go where we want to go. With Greek banks down to their last few days of cash and European Central Bank tightening the nose on their funding, Tsipras tried to convince the bloc's other 18 leaders, many of whom are exasperated with 5 years of crisis, to authorize a new loan swiftly. In the meantime, French President François Hollande said the goal was still for Greece to remain in the Eurozone. He added to reach the goal, Greece must do more serious, credible proposals. If Greek banks run out of money, the country has to print its own currency. It could mean a state leaving the euro for the first time since it was launched in 1999, creating a precedent and fueling doubts about the long-term viability of an incomplete European monetary union. Al-Shabaab gunmen killed at least 14 people and injured 12 others early today in North countries near Somali border. 13 males and other female mostly were killed in the attack. 12 have been evacuated and rushed to a hospital in Nairobi. The Mandera County Commissioner says the gunmen hurled grenades into a residential building located about 2 kilometers from Mandera town. Police have launched a manhunt for the killers, who escaped the scene immediately after the incident. Sources said Al-Shabaab militants first heard several impoverished explosive devices before opening fire on the quarry workers who were asleep at the time. The government late ordered quarry workers to leave the quarries and move to town for security reasons after 36 of them were killed in December. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website www.watanalkarama.tv. Thanks for being with us. My greeting, Rانيا البليدي.